Cancer, Sun, Moon and Rising. So this is your tarot reading for the week ahead. Bit of a topsy-turvy time. Don't be alarmed. Pretty much all the zodiac signs up until this point are going through a similar thing. You're probably going to feel the slight highs and lows. There are some great highs within here, so it's not all doom and gloom. Trust me, don't need to hit your panic stations just yet. You've got 2 8s within your spread. So you've got the 8 of Swords, the Lord of Shortened Force, and the 8 of Wands, the Lord of Swiftness. Lord of Swiftness, again, a card that's been coming up for a lot of star signs this week. Lots of things going on, lots of things coming in, but it's a reminder really of the fickleness of nature. Sometimes we can be up, sometimes we're down. And again, sometimes that can feel like, oh, if I'm in a really good mood, does that mean that I'm going to be down in the dumps tomorrow? Not at all, but it's a reminder to enjoy the good times while they last. And if you are going through some challenging and frustrating times, just know that this too will pass. Nothing is permanent. It really does feel like, it does feel like the kind of twists and turns, the ups and downs of a wave. Particularly being a water sign, it's unsurprising that that little bit of emotional turbulence is going to be found. But again, really let me emphasize that any times that you're feeling a little bit frustrated, feeling that things aren't necessarily going your way, just know that there are going to be better things around the corner. Particularly as we start off with the 8 of Swords, as I said, feeling a bit in a mental prison, not necessarily knowing exactly the way to start forward. Maybe we start the week a little bit, should I do this? Should I do? I don't really know where I'm placing my energies, where I'm placing my motivation, what I need to roll up my sleeves and just get cracking on with. But do not worry, because straight afterwards you have the 9 of Cups, the Lord of material happiness. So remember, it's gonna be an up and down kind of week. So just at those times you're feeling like, oh gosh, nothing's working, suddenly you'll have a breakthrough. The image that comes to mind is a bit like if we've got an overcast day, or one of those days you're lying on the beach and then the cloud goes over and then it's chilly and then the cloud passes and the sun comes out. That's the kind of dynamic that we're going to be looking at for Cancerians the week ahead. So when it feels great, it will feel really great. It does not necessarily when it feels bad, it's going to be horrid by any means. It's just going to be that little bit chilly. It's going to feel intermittent. It's going to feel in some ways quite capricious. But there is plenty to be happy with. Particularly, it's such a nice little trio, couple really, duo, this 8 of Swords with this 9 of Cups energy, because it's like at those times of the greatest frustration, a bit like my pet hate is Bluetooth. I hate Bluetooth when it doesn't work, but when I get it to pair, there's such a sense of satisfaction. Probably says more about me than it does the energy around this. But very often when we're struggling, when we're finding things frustrating and annoying, and then suddenly they bend to our will, we feel an even greater sense of accomplishment and achievements because of it. If we found it easy, we just find it easy. We don't really pay much heed, don't pay it much attention. So the very fact that you are going to feel this this slightly shortened force as the 8 of Swords represents, but then very quickly feeling the sense of satisfaction. So it is this thing about perseverance. Just persevere. This isn't about flagellation, making a horrible situation for ourselves and we're just having to get through it in a very martyrdom kind of way. Not whatsoever. If it's kind of proving, if it's at the cost of your own sanity or your own health, then maybe let it go. But understanding that very often, if something's worthwhile doing, it is a bit of a challenge because that is the process of growth. So there's very much indicated this week that there will be things to be thankful for, to appreciate. I always see the 9 of Cups as the trophy room. So there will be a sense of accomplishment and a sense of achievement. And really, you can deserve to give yourself a huge pat on the back, really, recognizing the things that you have done rather than what has still left to be overcome or achieved. Again, we've got the 3 of Swords here. So the swords kind of representing some of the more challenging aspects of this spread. unsurprising given Cancer as well, because at times we like to put on a brave face, we like to put on our armor, but there is a softer underside as well. So this theme around not being afraid to show your vulnerability, not feeling as though you have to do it all on your own and to soldier through. If you need some time to pull back, then pull back. Again, just use your own discernment. Is it a time to just grit your teeth? Come on, we can do this. Just a little last push. Let's just get through that. Or is it a time for, actually, I'm just causing myself unnecessary suffering here because I'm trying to push something through that either I don't have the energetic resource to do, or actually it's just not meant to happen. So just be kind of wise, use a wisdom, use a sense of reflectiveness as it comes through the week. But again, suddenly after this Three of Swords, the Lord of Sorrow, the difficulties, the emotional difficulties that are being presented. And again, it's always important to remember with the Three of Swords, it is the number 3, which is numerologically the number of growth. So none of this feels for naught. It doesn't feel suffering for suffering's sake. It doesn't feel like, oh, it's just crap, excuse my language, for just to be a bit kind of difficult by any means. It is actually a sign that we're expanding, we're trying things, we're pushing perhaps outside of our comfort zone. And again, just after this point of hitting this Three of Swords, of this frustration, this kind of, again, slight disillusionment, this slightly feeling a bit downtrodden or a bit crestfallen, we go straight into the Eight of Wands, the Lord of Swiftness, as I said. And the Eights and the Wands, this is such a great combination. The Wands love being in the number 8, as I'm sure you heard me say. It feels exalted. I often see this cards either as javelins that are about to land or like tiger stripes. It's that bounce that we're able to go forward. So it's unsurprising this week if you're feeling a sense of it's darkest hour just before dawn, just at that moment that the daylight is about to break. Very often we feel our greatest frustrations. One of my favorite rules to remember is that sometimes it takes 20% of the effort to do 80% of the work and the last 80% of the effort to do the last 20%. That kind of ratio is probably going to play through here. So there will be real spits and spurts this week for your efforts and your accomplishments and your achievements. Sometimes it's going to feel like you're going downhill. Sometimes you're going to feel like you're going uphill. And you kind of can't believe that it would be this interchangeable within 1 week. But again, if anybody knows how to ride that emotional roller coaster, it is you, Cancer. So it doesn't matter. Just go with the flow. Just roll with the punches. Just go, okay, it might be like this on Monday, but by Tuesday, it will probably be much better. Okay, there's a bump in the road on Wednesday, Thursday. It's going to be fine. It probably is going to be that quick. So the best thing that we can do is just go, hey, okay, that's what it is for now. It probably won't be like that tomorrow. So don't take anything personally. Don't put too much weight into any particular circumstance or any particular situation. Again, when we're really in the throes of a scenario, we can sometimes feel, oh, it's the end of the world. It's so frustrating. It's so annoying. Not that Cancer would ever be guilty of doing that. But it's just, again, don't blow things necessarily out of proportion. It's very often that thing when we're feeling a bit frustrated and annoyed, everything seems to be magnified within that energy. So the best thing that you can do is stay grounded, get a sense of perspective. Maybe ask a friend, ask somebody that you trust, hey, I've got this issue. Am I right in thinking that it's a bit of a frustration, or should I just is it a bit of a passing thing? Again, the great oracle that is Cher, I remember she always said that her mum taught her the 5-year rule. If this is something that is going to make a difference to your life in 5 years, it's worth worrying about. If it isn't going to make a difference in 5 years, if you're never going to remember it, then it probably isn't worth getting too caught up with. So use that as a bit of a rule of thumb. This is perfectly synopsisized in our final card, which is the Four of Cups. And this is Moon in Cancer. So it's such a perfect expression really for the week. Because the moon obviously is about reflection. It's about the emotions particularly, and we can have the illuminated side and the dark side of the moon. So again, it's a choice. I always find that the Four of Cups, that Lord of Blended Pleasure, a really interesting card, because you can't tell whether the person in the card is looking just is in a point of repose, in meditation, in reflection, or if they're actually looking a bit disillusioned and fed up. So the choice is yours. It is all about a choice. Are you going to focus more on what is working rather than just ignoring what gifts are trying to come in? Where is our focus? Is it on the good, the bad, or the ugly? And can it be readjusted so that we are seeing more of the positives and things? So as I say, the Lord of Blended Pleasure is such a great description of this week. It will be a bit of a blend of the good and the bad. But as we well know, it's not just about everything going your way. Otherwise it would be dull. Otherwise we wouldn't grow. Otherwise we wouldn't be learning the lessons that we need to. But even in those times of frustrations and difficulties, don't blow it out of proportion. Don't take it personally. Just keep remembering what goes up must come down. What goes down must come up. So it is just tapping into that flow, into that rhythm of life. So I hope that helps. See you next week. And thanks so much. Bye for now.